All right, boys and girls. So today I'm going to show you a lesson of how to create a poppy. We're going to need a few items. I have a large piece of square red construction paper, a smaller square of black, a small scrap of green, and a small scrap of yellow. I also have some glue, some scissors, a pencil, a red pastel, or a crayon will work too, and a piece of Kleenex. This is in case you are using the pastel. So I'll tuck this stuff away that I don't need right now. All that you need to begin are your pencil and your red paper. So the first step we're going to do, we're going to look at our square here. We're going to fold it one way, open it back up, and then fold it the other way because we want to divide our poppy into 4 even parts. Okay? So when I look at my poppy, I want it to have 4 big petals, right? In order to do that, I'm just going to draw one petal. I'm going to start halfway down. So see how I have my middle here and my top here, about halfway. I'm going to put a little line. And I'm going to do the same thing this way. So from the middle out here, I'm going to put a little line. So that just tells me where I want my petal to come back to. Okay? So then I'm going to try to make my petal so that it comes around and it stays in this square, and then it's going to come back down and touch this. All right? So I only need to draw that the one time. The reason why I'm drawing it like this is because I want to make sure that my petal is facing the right spot when I cut. So it should be like a big rainbow, and it stops here and here. All right? Our next step is to fold it so that this is on the outside. So if you didn't fold it the same way, we'll just fold it back like this so that we can see our shape. And then we're going to use our scissors. We're going to start at the edge and we're going to cut all the way around. When I open this up, you're going to see that it creates a beautiful poppy shape, just 4 big petals. Now the fun part. So I have just a bit of scrap paper here that I'm going to slide underneath so I don't get it on my background paper here. And I'm going to get that red pastel. So if you have an art box that I have already put together for you, if you look inside, you will find red pastel and a piece of Kleenex. We need that as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to trace around our petals, just all the way around the outside. It doesn't have to be neat. And that's why I have this piece of scrap paper here, because in case it gets on the desk a little bit. And it should come off easily from the desk, but sometimes it's just easier to put some scrap paper down first. So I'll follow that fold to the center. And I'll do the same thing here. So I'm just tracing quickly. And I would like you to take your time with this. I'm just doing it quickly so you don't have to wait to watch me do it really carefully and slowly. So once you've gone around every section to your center, you're going to take your Kleenex. You're going to fold the Kleenex up into, so I just keep folding, 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 until I can't fold it anymore. I have a little lump. So I'm going to use that lump just to blend my line in a little bit. And what this is going to do is it's just going to add a bit of dimension to my petals. So I'm just going to rub back and forth, and I have to do this carefully. Notice I'm using my other hand to hold it down as I rub. And sometimes it's easier just to rub outwards off your paper. But if you can rub gently a little bit, we should be able to get, see how we're getting a little bit more of that red blended in instead of just a line? So I'm just gently rubbing. I don't want to press too hard because I certainly don't want to rip my paper. And I'm using, again, that other hand to hold it steady while I blend. Almost done. Now you can do this slower if you find that it is challenging and you are worried about maybe ripping your petals. All right, just one petal left to go. And that's why you sort of have to go with a little bit of a thick line around the outside, because we need enough pastel that it will blend. So you can't see how this is nice and thick. You don't want to add too thin of a line there. All right, so that step is all done. I can put away my red pastel now. I won't need that again today. So next up, we're going to create our other parts of our poppy. So I have my pencil, and I'm just going to draw almost like a circle on here. Hopefully you can see that on the screen. If not, I'll just cut it out. And it doesn't have to be cut out really neatly or anything. I'm actually going to wiggle my edge a little bit. So in order to get a wiggly edge like that, all you have to do is turn your paper as you cut, and you'll get an uneven. So I'm wiggling as I squeeze, and that's creating an uneven edge here. Now, I'm going to draw a second circle inside my circle. The reason for that is I'm going to create like a sun. And I don't want to draw too many rays, but I'm going to draw about a finger width apart. Now, you ready? I'm going to cut, and I'm going to stop at my sun. Cut, stop at my sun. Cut, stop at my sun. And I'll do that for each ray all the way around. So this creates that fringed part of the inside of the poppy. Now, if you want to get super fancy, you can actually cut little slivers out. You know, I'm just like cutting the tiniest bit every once in a while. Not every one of them. I'm just taking out some little tiny bits. If you take out a big chunk, don't even worry about it. On the flower, this part isn't consistent. It's not even on every single flower, so you don't have to worry too much about that. There we go. I think that looks nice. So now you'll see this goes in the middle of my poppy here, and I can curl these up a little bit. They look extra fun. Like that. So then I'm just going to make sure this part gets glued down. Lots of glue right in the middle, not on the outside, because I want those to stick up. And then I'll put that in there like that. Next, I'm just going to take my yellow scrap, and this is just going to be for the inside part And I'm just going to fold it into a few. And what I'll do is I'll draw a couple of dots on there. And I'll be able to glue these on the inside part of my poppy. Now this one is a little bit more of a delicate step, but if they're not perfect circles, don't worry about it. I usually glue my stuff down so that the pencil line is on the bottom. That way you can't see it in my final piece. So just glue these on. And if you overlap them, it makes a brighter yellow because they're closer together. And if they're further apart, you can see the individual shapes. All right, I think I'm happy with that. If you want to get extra fancy, you can cut some little strips of these. And you can also stick these in like this. It just adds a little bit of color to that center part of your poppy. Now this is all of the part of the poppy that helps to pollinate and make the poppy blooms, make the poppy plant all that much more desirable for our pollinators like our bees. So I'm just adding a few of those in. You don't have to, it's just an added option. Now my absolute last step today is going to be to add a leaf to my poppy. And that is what that green scrap, that little green scrap is for. So I'm just going to draw a leaf shape for my poppy, just a standard leaf shape. And this isn't actually the shape of a normal poppy leaf. A normal poppy leaf, if we fold, you can make it fancy after. If you want to just glue it on like this, that's fine. If you want to make it a little bit fancier, you can fold it in half and make a couple snips. And then you have a little bit more of a natural poppy shape. So I'm just going to put some glue on the front of it. And then I'm going to stick it somewhere behind my poppy. I think these look nicest sort of in between two of the petals. So that is our poppy activity today. And hopefully yours turns out great. And always, as usual, don't forget, you want to make sure to put your name on the back of your poppy. Thanks for watching.